beautiful day, dear children. Welcome back to our English class. So, children, we have completed up till chapter number 13 in English. And what was our last chapter? Yes, it was Tempest. And we learned about the play, isn't it? And what were the characters in the story? Yes, we had Antonio, Prospero, Miranda, Ferdinand, and Gonzalo, and Adiel, our favorite character, isn't it? Yes, hope you all enjoyed the story. So, today we're going to start a new poem, and the poem is about the thing which you find in the picture. So, how beautiful is the tree? Yes. So, the poem which we are going to see in this video is about this tree. Now, shall we start the poem? So, today we are going to discuss about the poem The Laburnum. Okay, and it is known as the golden chain or golden rain, and its appearance just attracts us. Okay, and this beautiful poem is written by Meera Oberoi. So she was born on 1952 in Bangalore, in India, and she was a children's author. And her poems were simple yet beautiful, and she had an innate talent for telling ancient tales into a contemporary style. So, besides being a talented writer, she was also a fine painter and a passionate gardener. Okay, now let's read the poem once and then we'll see the meaning. The Laburnum by Meera Oberoi. Just down the road from where I live, a lone laburnum grows, and it does not advertise itself unlike the cawing crows. But like the cawing crows, you would say there is nothing to this tree, its height is unremarkable, and its leaves so ordinary. But come the summer, golden light is trapped within the tree. In May, the crystallized sunbeams burst out for all to see. The thundery grey sky casts its gloom on everything in sight. But the little tree is quite untouched and it burns with the topaz light. Flowers of sunshine cloak the tree and dazzle every eye, and every puff of a wayward breeze drops gold on passer-by. Even the beggar down the street smiles when he sees this tree, and for some moments he can feel a joy that comes for free. So, what a beautiful poem, isn't it? Now, shall we see the meaning of the poem? Yes. So, just down the road from where I live. That means the road where the person is living. A lone laburnum, a lone tree which is golden in color grows, and it does not advertise itself. It does not make itself noticeable, unlike the cawing crows. When we see the crows, what happens? It always caws, and it makes us that it wants something, or it tells us some information, right? But like the cawing crows, you would say there is nothing to this tree, and its height is unremarkable. So it is not so remarkable, and it leaves so ordinary. It has only ordinary leaves. But come the summer, golden light. So when summer season is coming, what happens? The golden light is trapped within the tree. And in May month, the crystallized sunbeams, that means the sun's rays, burst out for all to see. So when the light enters the tree looks golden, it looks glittering. Okay, and the thundery grey sky casts its gloom on everything in sight. But the little tree is quite untouched because this tree is poisonous. All the parts of this plant, the laburnum, is poisonous. That's why they are saying that it is quite untouched. Okay, and it burns with the topaz light, that means bright light of the sun. Flowers of sunshine cloak the tree. Yes, they fill the tree and dazzle. Yes, they attract every eye. And every puff of a wayward breeze, that means irregular breeze, drops gold on passer-by. Yes, it means the yellow color flowers. And even the beggars down the street smiles when he sees this tree. And for some moments, he can feel a joy that comes for free. So now let's see the meaning in deep. So, Sulan, what did we understand from this poem? Yeah, beauty comes in many forms, and some were obvious and pleasing at first sight, and others are more subtle but also more lasting and valuable. So, in the Laburnum, Mira Oberoi presents us the tree as an example of such quiet yet powerful beauty. And the laburnum is initially portrayed in the first two stanzas as a tree about which there is nothing special. Neither its height nor its leaves are worthy to note. And it grows alone and prefers not to draw attention itself, unlike the cawing crows. And why then should anyone notice it? Yes, in the summer light and on the rainy days, the laburnum sheds its ordinariness, and the sunlight reflected by the yellow flowers cast a golden beam, and the glory of the tree begins to unfold for all to see. That is the time when we notice this tree, and even when the surroundings turn gloomy and dark under the thundery grey sky, the tree continues to shine with a bright topaz light that dazzles the passers by. And the leaves previously described as so ordinary in the second stanza are like the falling gold when blown about by a strong breeze. Okay, so the poem focuses on the unexpected realization and therefore greater impressiveness of the hidden beauty in the tree. Okay, and finally, it gives more significance to the majesty of the laburnum by highlighting its usefulness. And the tree gives solace and comfort to the beggar who lives in the street. It makes him smile, and though this gift may come for free, and we certainly cannot put a price for its majestic and beautiful look. So the laburnum thus becomes a symbol of enduring hope for people. So next we have comprehension given in page number 89. Explain the meanings of the lines in your own words. First one, a lone laburnum. That means the only laburnum tree in the area. Second, there is nothing to this tree. There is nothing special about this tree. Third one, the thundering grey sky casts its gloom. The grey sky is thundering and is making everything gloomy. Gloomy here means dark. Okay. Fourth one, it burns with a topaz light. Yes, the yellow tree seems to glow even in the grey monsoon season. Fifth one, drops gold on passers by. That means yellow flowers of the laburnum drop on people passing by. Next is answer the questions you will be given in the assignment. You just copy down neatly. Okay. Next, thick and answer you have. What kind of joy does the poet describe as free? What kind of joy? How will you express your happiness? Yes, the joy that comes from merely looking at a vibrant laburnum tree is for free. Okay. Next, why doesn't the laburnum need to advertise itself? So, the laburnum does not need to advertise itself because although its height and leaves are ordinary, its flowers are dazzling and attract the attention of others. Next, we have word study. You have words like cawing crows, golden light, thundery sky, wayward breeze are examples of descriptive phrases. Okay, that means describing phrases. Now, replace the underlined words with the words of your own to make suitable phrases. So, anything, not only what I'm going to say now, any words you can write. So, first one for cawing crows, you can write flying crows. Next, that crystallized sunbeams. So, how can we write splitting sunbeams or glittering sunbeams? Next, wrapped gift, exciting gifts, amazing gift, anything you can write. Fourth one, interesting poem. Yes, a long, interesting poem. Next, a dash amused passers-by, amused passers-by. Yes, hurrying passers-by. Next one, wayward breeze, gentle breeze. Next is option E. Tick the appropriate words within the brackets to form correct phrases. First one, Sharad walked at a dash pace, at a fast pace. Second one, I have a dash headache, said Ayani. I had a bad headache. Third one, it's a delight to breathe in dash air in the morning. Fresh air in the morning. Fourth one, grandfather dash a light-hearted speech for the special occasion. Yes, grandfather penned. Fifth one, the brothers made the decision on a dash impulse, on a sudden impulse. Okay, so children, complete your classwork neatly with legible handwriting, and grammar part we'll be seeing in the school. So thank you children. Have a great day. Do your work daily and learn your daily lessons. Okay children.